All right, here we go. Well, thanks for meeting with us, Chris. Why don't you go ahead and start by introducing yourself and what your role is?
Sure. So my name is Chris Hoppy, and I'm the Associate Director of Campus Recreation and Outdoor Programs. So from a big picture sense, I step in as the number two person if Mike Campitelli, who's the Director of Campus Recreation, is ever on leave for whatever reason, that I take on the responsibility of overseeing all of campus recreation in his absence, but that is not a super common role that I take on. And so my main responsibility is overseeing the EPIC program, which is the outdoor program on campus. And so it's one of three separate programs within campus recreation, which would be club sports, intramurals, and then the outdoor program. And so that's my area of focus, is on the outdoor program. And really on a day-to-day level, what that means is overseeing all of the administrative student staff here in the office that handle all the trip registrations and gear inventory that we have. And then I also supervise the two professional staff that we have that are focused on field technical skill training and leadership development with our student field-based staff.
Why don't you describe just what EPIC stands for, what its mission is, and if you guys have values, you can describe some of those values as well.
Yeah, sure. So EPIC, it stands for Experiential Programs Inspiring Confidence, and it's like I said, it's one sub-program within the campus recreation department. And really at the end of the day, we are here to serve students. We're totally funded by service and activity fees that students pay, and that subsidizes a vast majority of how we operate in this office and across campus recreation. And so everything that we do, everything that we touch has to have a direct student benefit, and it can't be any sort of intention to serve the greater community beyond that. If we do serve the greater community beyond that, that's secondary. The primary mission is to serve students. One of the other kind of less spoken about missions that we have is to be a tool for recruitment. That we provide a lot of really high profile pictures and publicity opportunities for the university to get its name out there and to say, look at what cool stuff you can do if you become a student here at Eastern Washington University. And so we really we try to capitalize on that opportunity as well. Our two focuses is recruitment and retention. And so we retain students by providing an opportunity for students to get out and to network and create a community here on campus. We really, a lot of the students that we serve are on-campus residents living in residence halls, and so a lot of times they move here from places that aren't from the Cheney, Spokane area, or maybe not even from the Washington area. And so we give them an opportunity to see what is recreation opportunities available to them in this area, and also to meet other people that like to do those same kinds of things that they want to do, and to learn new things and to learn those new things with other people. And so that's how we retain students, is by providing those unique experiences.
Right now, do you have an idea of how many students are involved with your program here?
Yeah, we're undergoing a pretty significant change in how we collect data on participation. We've ranged anywhere from 350 to 500, 600 students, just depends on the year. It kind of ebbs and flows from year to year, but we seem to be on an upswing right now. So we're pretty optimistic about those numbers, but that's a pretty wide range of the number of students that we serve. The majority of those students being on-campus residents. One of the goals for moving forward is that we don't want to serve just kind of a niche group of students. We want to try and reach out to as many students as possible and introduce students to the outdoors that maybe traditionally haven't been exposed to it before, and not serve the same 10 students 100 times. We want to serve 100 students as much as we can.
What strategies are you using to currently track students or participation, and what would you like to see that isn't occurring right now?
In terms of like systems that we use to track participation?
Sure.
Okay, so we use two different systems. One of our systems is used to track trip participation, and the other system is used to track our gear rental service, which I haven't really talked much about lately. So the system that we use to track trip participation is called Fusion, and it's become a pretty widely accepted industry-wide tool for registrations, not just within outdoor programs on a college campus, but in all of campus recreation. They serve intramurals, they serve club sports, facility operations. So they've really quickly become one of the premier, most heavily accepted registration or point of sale tools in the industry. The other tool that we use for our gear rental service is called Oak, which is a less common tool, and it's a tool that if we could actually migrate away from, we would do so, and just I guess put all of our eggs into the Fusion basket. But right now, Fusion doesn't have a tool that is capable of doing gear rental at the quality and at the rigor that we need it to, and Oak does a lot of the things that we need it to do much more efficiently and effectively. So for the gear rental side, Oak has a lot of advantages, specifically around reservations for gear rentals. And so you as a student, you can plan a trip, a week or a month in advance, and we can set aside that gear for you, knowing that you're going to use it at that time. Whereas if we were to go through Fusion, we couldn't do that, and that's something that our students are asking for. So.
Cool, moving on. Do you mind just talking a little bit about how many student employees you have and what their roles are?
Yeah, we have about 30 student employees. About half of them are office bound and half of them are field bound. And so we, when I say office bound, there's two real tracks that our student staff occupy. One of them is the customer service representative track, and so that's everybody that works at our front desk and is the face of Epic Adventures. And so when you as a student come to learn about our services and what we have to offer, our customer service team is really the point for that, to learn and for them to communicate what do we do and why do we do it, how do we do it, what do you need to get started, and what are the things that you never thought you could do or that you could access here at Epic, but we can provide for you. And on the other track, we have our equipment tech team, which is responsible for maintaining our pretty robust gear inventory, and making sure that all the trips that go out into the field are staged with the right equipment that they need, that equipment is maintained to a high standard, and that we also have that team, the equipment tech team, be responsible for providing the gear to the students that are just wanting to go out on personal trips and using that gear rental service that we have available. So then on the other half of our student staff, we have our field-based staff, which go through pretty rigorous training to be just at a minimum qualified to be our field staff. They first start out as an assistant trip leader or trip leader, and go through either a 1 weekend or full week intensive leadership training that's field-based. And then once they've done that, they then commit to either doing a technical skill that includes either whitewater raft guiding or rock climbing, and then so there's an expectation that they continue not just being a leader in the field, but also have technical skill to back it up, and have some sort of area of specialty that's either rock climbing or rafting. So,
cool.
Yeah.
Can you describe a little bit about your administrative full-time employees that you have? You mentioned there's 3 of you.
Yeah, there's myself and 2 others. So Leah Hilbrand and Madison Ellington, they're our 2 outdoor program coordinators, and their roles, on Leah's side, her role is to be focused on our internal operations of our field staff. So our risk management plans and policies, the staff development, staff scheduling, trip development, trip planning, those kinds of things. Then Madison's focus is to be more external, reaching out to different corners of campus that how can we get students to be involved in our program. And we've there's been a history of really waiting for students to come to us and to learn about our programs, and that's not the case anymore. Madison has put a lot of energy and attention into reaching out to students and seeing what do you want out of a program and how can we make that happen for you. And so Leah's focus is more internal development, and then Maddie is more external development. And so then my focus is to really more on the budget end, and then policy and procedure, and then also meeting the needs of the administration of both our
got a few more questions here.
Cool.
Let's start with the more challenging one. What's the most difficult or challenging part of your job?
That's a good question. Yeah, I think you kind of touched on it. It's on TV. You see like those. I guess they're kind of like jugglers, but they have those plates that are spinning on those like dowel rods.
Yeah.
You got to keep those plates spinning, and we never get a chance to really like sit and wait, because if you wait, then those plates stop spinning and they'll fall and crash. And so there's always a sense of like we got to keep moving forward, and how can we make more cool stuff happen. And I think that if it's the day we get comfortable and complacent is the day that we're not doing our jobs and we're not doing things successfully. And so that's, pushing the envelope is not easy, because you never get a chance to really catch your breath, because you're always looking for the next thing. The other challenge to what I do and to what we do within this office is that the culture of an outdoor program is to be fairly relaxed and laid back, and to not have as much structure to it. But in order to do our job well and to have gear that's maintained at a high level and high quality, and to promote our services, it's hard to walk that balance.
Yeah.
Live in an administrative world where I've got eyes looking down on our program with an expectation that we do things at a certain standard that everybody else across campus recognizes, while everybody that engages with our program might be a little bit more relaxed about life and culture and structure. And so we walk that balance a little bit, and and I think that we do a pretty good job, but it's something that it's something that we'll probably battle for the rest of time, is knowing that the staff that want to work here, they love what they do, and they're excited to be outside, and that they're excited to work with students and get students outside. But they also want to. It's supposed to be fun. It's always supposed to be fun. At the end of the day, all this stuff's supposed to be fun, and also knowing that there's a lot of responsibility there. Those are two really tough things to balance.
So for you personally, balancing the challenges of maintaining a professional program, pushing the envelope, but also getting some personal self-care, and besides coffee, what do you typically do for yourself to?
I work out quite a bit and train. My wife and I are pretty active in the outdoors, and so I think the work-life balance is really important, and it's a hard thing to find. It's really hard to find, and I'm probably one of the biggest hypocrites in the area, because I always put my work first, and that's at a detriment to a lot of other things. And so I really try hard to schedule downtime and schedule time away from work, where from this time to this time, or from these days to these days, I'm off the grid and nobody can get a hold of me. And otherwise, if I don't schedule it, there's always a chance that my eyes are going to come back to being here. So.
On the flip side, what is the most rewarding part of your job?
Yeah, the students. I mean, I think that's the easy answer, but honestly, seeing students, especially in our staff development programs that we have, seeing students who came into one of our staff trainings and had no idea how to even sit in a raft, and then by the end of one of our trainings, they are competent and certified raft guides that are capable of making really critical decisions in small amounts of time. And it's such a cool thing to see, because I think it has such broad application, not just, if you may not work there, you're probably not going to work the rest of your life as a raft guide, but the skills that you can take away from being a raft guide while you're here at Epic or here at Eastern, hopefully that's going to help you down the road, and we've seen it time after time have that effect. So cool. It's pretty cool.
How does Epic differ from other university recreation programs, or from other outdoor recreation programs that you've seen in your experience?
Yeah, one thing that I think has going for itself is proximity. We're in the middle of a lot of really great, exciting things. Within a 2-hour range, 2.5-hour range, we have half a dozen really great whitewater rivers. We have some amazing mountain bike trails, world-class mountain bike trails. Silver Mountain is annually named one of the best mountain bike areas in the Northwest. And some of the best climbing areas. We have the North Cascades, which is, one of the least attended national parks, but has some of the most iconic, beautiful places in the entire country. Is right in our backyard. And so I think proximity, we're just really, really fortunate to have those things in our backyard. One of the other things that I think separates us from other institutions, whether it's a university program or something different, is that we've, for the last 40 years, have had tremendous support from the administration, and we could not do what we do without that level of support. Not just financial support, but really just support in our decision making and how we carry ourselves and the values that we try to bring to the table. And I think that there's been really, and we're very grateful for the amount of support that the institution has given us year in and year out, and that we couldn't do what we do without that. So.
Do you have any future goals or benchmarks for this program?
Benchmarks, no, because there's a lot of things that I just don't have control over that are going to affect benchmarks. But in terms of like program design, we're really trying to move more into a model of progression. We want students, as I mentioned, we really want to try and get students involved in our program that haven't tried our stuff and even like have been resistant to trying our stuff, and get them in and show them that it's not scary, show them that it's not as intimidating as they think, and let them learn about it.
Well, thanks, Chris, for sharing your time with us and providing that insight. It was great talking with you.
Yep, thanks.
Are you feeling the funk? Cause we bringing the funk. Are you feeling the funk? Cause we bringing the funk. Are you feeling the funk? Cause we bringing the funk. Are you feeling the funk?